So right now, I am wearing people clothes, meaning for once my testicles are not being cradled by a superhero's fist. That makes a change. Pretty good response to the last couple of videos, so back, I guess. Let's give it a go. I guess this video is going to be a What's Up Twit, or whatever the fuck I called that series. I'll try and cover what I've been watching, playing, listening to, general shit. You know the thing. You know how it goes. You know me better than I know me by now. I can't remember what I do. Say the Jerry Ginger Beer. It's good. So as last time, it's still July. I'm going to continue to tell you it's July because it's July and it is fucking hot. So what I'm going to do this time is just jump straight into gaming that I've been doing recently, as it's what most of you are interested in. I will cover general life stuff as well as talking about being vegan as well, which I know some of you don't give a shit about. Don't worry, I ain't going to preach about it. It's just happening right now, so I've got it to talk about. But gaming, I've been playing a couple of games this week, all on Xbox One as usual. First off being, what the fuck is it even called? Middle-earth? Trademark. Shadow of Mordor? Trademark. Why they had to put two trademarks in there, I do not know. It just makes the game case look hideous. I don't own a physical copy of it, but right now Xbox One Gold is doing a free play weekend for it, and at the same time you can purchase a digital download for £5, which is great because physical copies of that game that I've seen tend to hover around the £15–20 mark. I'm just not prepared to pay that, especially for a Lord of the Rings game, which I've stated in the past are usually pretty good. I can't stand the Lord of the Rings series or the Hobbit. It's really dull. The games are usually pretty good. This one, I'm not too sure how I feel about it yet. The combat is exactly the same as Batman, but then it's a Warner Brothers game, I believe, so that's probably to be expected. I haven't got a fucking clue what's going on. I played it for about 2 hours. It really is mind-meltingly hot in here right now. Having the door closed, it's not ideal. Yeah, I can't know what the fuck I was saying. Played it for around an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe. I believe that's what I was saying. And as soon as you start the game, you just get thrown into some story aspect. You're some dude, I assume is human, who's died. He's not allowed to be dead, so he's possessed by some sort of thing. You can tell I know the Lord of the Rings universe, can't you? His son's being killed, his wife's being killed, blah blah blah, motivation left and right to go kill some fucking orcs. And what's happened so far is I've jumped onto the fields of Mordor, which is very brown, there's no green, which I'm not into. I hope there is some green. And I've killed some fucking orcs. That's literally all I've done. There's very little direction of where I'm supposed to go. There is a map, and there is map markers. I'm heading directly to a quest, and upon doing that I've managed to stroll straight through a village and had about 20–30 orcs on me at a time, and I accidentally somehow managed to get into 2 boss fights at the same time, both of which are too strong for me, so I just had to fucking peg it. So not pleased with the sense of direction at the beginning of that game. It's probably a good thing because you really can throw out free roam, but for a moron gamer like me, it is a bit much. After doing that, I learned that you can do some stealth moves, but they're ridiculous. As you can probably see, or probably can't, depending on how much effort I want to put into editing this video. You can, if you see a group of orcs, you can just sneak behind them. They'll be walking in a bunch and you can just stealthily take them down one by one without any of them fucking noticing. It's really, really bad AI on that. But the game's alright, I guess. I'm having some amount of fun on it so far. You probably get more enjoyment out of it if you are a Lord of the Rings fan. But for me, it's just nice to kill some shit, I guess. I'll probably try and finish it. Then again, I probably won't. Who's to say? Either way, it's alright. Other than that, I've just been revisiting some games, I guess. My internet connection went down the other day, because when it's hot for some reason, ISPs decide that they're going to go down. That's how it happens. Like, they have a meeting and they say, it's hot, let's go down. I don't know the technical reason for why that happens, but for me at least, whenever it's hot, I can fucking guarantee that my internet service is going to go down for a bit, and it did. So I ended up playing the 3DS for a little bit. Literally only half an hour, I guess. Played a little bit of Ocarina of Time 3D again, which is a great remake, although you don't want to play it with 3D on because it's horrific, as is the 3D on most games. But yeah, great game. I ain't going to talk about Zelda. Fucking you all know Zelda, and if you don't, well, you've obviously got no fucking interest in it anyway. But then I played some Bomberman. I think it's Bomberman World. It's not my game, it's Mother Half's game, and you can do the whole wireless multiplayer with only one cartridge, which is really cool. And again, I've said it on my channel 100 times before, Bomberman is one of the most perfect games ever made, just for sitting out, chilling. You don't need to concentrate that heavily unless you can play competitively, of course. It's great, it's good fun. Love Bomberman, especially multiplayer. Then I happened to revisit the demo, which is still installed on my 3DS, of the Smash Brothers 3DS game, whatever the fuck it's called. I think it's just called Smash Brothers, isn't it? I don't know if it has a title. Either way, I had a lot of fun on that. I really want to pick that up, but it's quite expensive because it's a Nintendo game. For some reason, they retain value like an unused whore. I will be picking that up when I find it cheap eventually, maybe one day. Will it ever exist cheap? Who fucking knows? But I had quite a bit of fun on that one. And because I played that as well, it sort of got me motivated to play some retro games as well. I really want to get the GameCube or Wii set up in the other room again, just for a little bit, just to revisit some of the old Nintendo games. Which is good. It's good that my spark's been reignited for that. And all it took was me picking up my 3DS. Thank you, internet connection going down again. And other than that, I've played 10-15 minutes of other games on the Xbox One here and there. I'm not going to go into them. But what I will say about the Xbox One is I was browsing through the achievements the other day. Not because I necessarily give a shit about the achievement score or anything like that. I like the achievement system simply because it gives you something to aim for, or it prolongs the life of a game. It's really good in that respect. It becomes really bad and unhealthy when you're just playing it to get achievements. But what the Xbox One does, for anybody who owns an Xbox One, they're already going to know this, but for the majority of you who watch me, you probably won't. Don't know why I think that, considering one of my last comments I was referred to the Xbox 360 guy. I hope I don't come across that way. There's a difficulty rating on achievements now, and the way that I say it's a difficulty rating, it's a percentage marker of how many people that have played the game have unlocked that achievement. And what I noticed was that on the game Rare Replay, where if you own an Xbox One and you haven't got Rare Replay, what the fuck is wrong with you? So many good games on that. What I noticed was the vast majority of the achievements on there, people had not unlocked them. Literally, they were all less than 1%. One particular achievement I had unlocked was 0.07% unlocked rating, which is piss poor. I haven't done a lot in that game either. I played it for, I think got 3 days playtime on it. But considering the amount of games on there you get, it's really not that long. So I wouldn't say it was overly difficult to get. To me, it just proves that people are only playing AAA fucking releases. People need to get off Call of fucking Duty and play some proper games. Couldn't believe it when I saw those ratings. Really, I lost faith in humanity for a little bit there. So before I go off into talking about music and general entertainment, I'm sure I've skipped over some games, but fuck it, we're just going to get through this as fast as possible. Just going to talk about some general shit that's been going on recently. So, been in a bad mood these last couple of days, because last Wednesday I attempted to drive home from work and the key just would not turn at all. So the ignition barrel is fucked on my car, and it's going to cost around 200 quid to fix. Not fucking happy about that. And it's happened just before I've got some time off work as well, which just so happens to be just before my birthday as well, so there's never a convenient time for this shit to happen, but there's definitely more inconvenient times than others for this shit to happen. So not being impressed by that, and because of that I've been drinking quite a lot as well, as it is one of my main coping mechanisms. Now if you follow me on Instagram, you're probably going to see that I've been drinking quite a lot, as I have a habit of tweeting whatever I'm drinking at the time. Not into tweeting food, but drink. I like drink quite a lot. So I'm big into my rum at the moment, as again, if you follow me on Instagram, you can tell. Loving my rum. I am, of course, a ginger pirate. So at the same time as the car fucking up, I'm quite pleased with myself actually. As usually when something wrong happens in my life, something goes wrong, I'm just dribbling on myself with playing the rum. I tend to drink and eat really unhealthily, which is how I got to around 20 stone last time. And what I've been doing this time is, because I'm now vegan, you're sort of forced to eat healthily, and on a vegan diet it's really hard to gain weight. And I'm pleased with myself. So even when going for takeout, I've been going for vegan options. I've been calling around seeing who will do vegan substitutes. There aren't many places, especially when it comes to Indian restaurants. They tend to cook with all butter ghee instead of oil. I did request one place to do it last time and they said they couldn't because they had pre-made sauce, which was dire, to be honest. If you do takeout, you want freshly prepared food. But I had curry again last night from a local place and they did do a substitute for vegetable oil instead of ghee, and it was absolutely fantastic. So obviously vegetable curry I had. Well, it was a vegetable biryani, which I asked to make extra hot, of course. Cauliflower bhaji. Do I have sargaloo? So that's spinach and potato. Absolutely perfect. It was supreme. Loved it. So I'm still getting my Indian on a vegan diet, which is absolutely perfect because I don't think I could live without Indian. The only thing about a vegan diet which I'm not sure I can live without at the moment, which I may have said in a previous video, is keema naan. If you that aren't up on your Indian food, keema naan is a naan bread with spiced minced lamb or spiced sliced lamb in the middle of it. I absolutely adore a keema naan. Keema naan, like, dunked in an extra hot curry. We're talking hotter than Vindaloo. Like a place near me does one called Kalia, which is Vindaloo plus. It's got a real nice ginger flavour to it. It's perfect. You can get a vegetable option of that as well, so I'm pretty fucking happy with that. Haven't been there since. Hopefully they will do a vegetable oil substitute over all butter ghee. Because the other week I did order Indian and I'd already paid through Just Eat and requested that I use vegetable oil, and they called me saying they couldn't because it was pre-made sauces, as I said. And I thought, fuck it, it's a one-off, I've already paid, I'm not dealing with a refund, it's going to take 5 days for a refund to come through. Got the curry, and because I'd not been eating meat or animal produce for a couple of weeks at that point, you could really taste the all butter ghee, and it made me feel rough as hell as well due to my lactose intolerance. Yeah, weren't pleased with that at all. If anything, it's cementing my want and need to stay vegan. I believe I was talking about keema naan. This video is becoming about Indian food, which isn't a bad thing as far as I'm concerned. I am, after all, a foodie. We'll go back to that in a minute. The keema naan, my birthday's coming up next week and I'm really tempted just to say fuck the vegan diet for one night and just fucking have a keema naan. But I have found some vegan alternatives to a keema naan online. Just need to get my missus round. She's a better cook than me. Actually has a bit more time to do that than me. It's a keema naan recipe using beans and pulses rather than lamb, and as long as it tastes right, I'm not too bothered about the texture. Some Indian places you go to for a keema, they're pretty skimpy on the lamb anyway. As long as it tastes right, I think that will be a substitute, and then I can perfectly happily stay vegan for the rest of my life, I think. Going back to saying being a foodie and being vegan, a lot of you will think that the two don't go hand in hand, but if anything, being a vegan makes you more of a foodie because you have to go out of your way to try new recipes and try and do more things. And since I've been a vegan, the variety of food and flavours that I've been having is tenfold over any meat dish that I'd ever had in the past. So very, very pleased with the vegan diet that I'm having right now. I recommend everybody tries it just for a week. And when I say vegan, I mean proper vegan, like fresh prepared food still, not shit frozen stuff. You shouldn't be buying frozen stuff anyway because it's fucking crap. But just take a week out of your life. I'm preaching now, aren't I? I said I wouldn't preach. I'm not. I'm just recommending it. Just take a week out of your life and eat. We'll go with that. No, just take a how many times can I say this? Just take a week out of your life. Just take a week out of your life. Just take a week out of your life. What I'm suggesting at this point is that you fucking comatose yourself. Now, what I'm suggesting at this point, in a really, really long-winded, roundabout way, is that you take a week out of your life, just eat fresh vegetables and lentils and pulses and rice and whole grains and all that sort of lovely stuff, and just see how you feel at the end of the week. Because I guarantee you'll notice a difference in your well-being. Since I've done it, I've got more energy, I can concentrate more, my focus is tenfold, I'm not as tired, I don't ever feel bloated, I don't get acid reflux. The list is endless. I feel great. It's one of the best things I've done in my life, and I promise from here on out I won't ask you to do anything again. I'm not expecting you to do it anyway, it's just I'm really pleased with myself right now, so I'm gonna fucking talk about it. I know a couple of people jokingly said in my last video But if I talk about vegan again, they will unsubscribe. But you know what? I'm prepared to take that. If you want to unsubscribe because I'm talking about veganism, fuck you. You can go elsewhere. Not that I think you would anyway. You've got to be joking, right? You can just skip past a chunk of a video. Completely went off on one there, but yeah, very pleased with myself with that, at least. I'm doing something right. I'm sweating like a paedophile in a fucking playground right now. My god, it is hot. Right, so music I've been listening to recently. New band I found over the last few months, thanks to a page on Facebook called Prog Snob. And yes, it is as painful as it sounds, but you know what, they talk good music, so I'm willing to put up with it. So the band I've been listening to recently, quite a fair amount at work mainly, and I need to purchase their album, which is on my to-do list. I'll definitely do it next week. They're called Cydemind, and they recently released an album called Erosion, and it is absolutely fucking mind-blowing. It is instrumental prog, so it's metal, but it's mellow. It's really, really good. I recommend you go and listen to them. It's instrumental, and the violinist of the band takes the vocal melody lines of violin, of course. It's absolutely superb. One of the best bands I've come across in quite some time. I hope the band doesn't mind. I'm literally just going to throw in like a 5-second clip here. But the band recently did a cover of Dream Theater's Another Day. I think it was in honour of Dream Theater's Images and Words album reaching the 25th anniversary. Reaching like 25th anniversary. Lloyd Speak Good. But yeah, one of my favourite songs, and they covered it, and it is absolutely perfect. Really, really good. If you're not into metal or prog, still go check them out because it is mellow and it's just perfect. If you're into game music, definitely give it a listen as well because it's instrumental after all. It's just really, really chilled out. Brilliant, superb. Other than that, I've been listening to quite a lot of Alice Cooper at the moment, actually, which is something I haven't done since my youth. We're talking early Alice Cooper though. The $1 Billion Babies album has been on repeat quite a bit at work. At home I try and listen to it as much as possible, even though I tend to listen to stuff on random because I've got a lot of fucking music. I do like later Alice Cooper, but it is a bit typical 80s cheese. I don't know what it was about the 80s, but everyone just seemed to follow suit. They found a formula and thought, this is the future, we're all going to sound identical. But yeah, early Alice Cooper, well not early, we're not talking that trumpet, trombone, teenage shite. His first ever album, if you've ever listened to it, it's got some funky jazz big band crap while he's screaming at the top of his lungs. It's an awful album. But $1 Billion Babies, fucking amazing album. And on top of Alice Cooper, I've also been listening to 2 other classics, mainly because you all probably know by now, but Sainsbury's or certain Sainsbury's stores have vinyl on sale. It's pretty pricey. Well, for new vinyl it's not too bad. You're talking between the £12 and £30 range depending on what album you buy. If it's a double it's going to be more expensive of course, but they have a lot of reissues and older stuff and just your classics really. And I found David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars 40th anniversary edition on gold vinyl for £14. Been listening to that a couple of times. It's just a fantastic album. Best listen to on vinyl as well. I don't know how it compares to original vinyl, as it's one of the Bowie albums I don't own an original copy of. And I also got Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction, which is part of the soundtrack to my youth, and the vinyl edition of that, again I can't speak for the original vinyl release, but this edition you hear a lot of stuff that you can't pick out in the tape and CD mix. It's really good. I've been enjoying listening to that again. I will show those off in my vinyl collection video, which will be out at some point, maybe next week because I've got some time on my hands, and I will start doing vinyl pickups again, as rare as they are. I've nearly got 70 vinyl records at this point, so I think rather than just doing a pickup video of everything I've got, I probably should just show my whole collection and then do pickups from then on. If you're interested, you might not be interested, but if you're not, fuck yeah, because it's my channel, I'm going to do what the fuck I want. Yeah, as for my music, I've been writing like crazy. Don't know why, I'm just going to hit that high E over and over again. I love this 7-string acoustic. Last time you saw it, it would have had white bridge pins and... no, yeah, white bridge pins and gold hardware, but I've changed for black and black pearl, which look great. I love this guitar. as I was saying, as for my music, I haven't recorded any as of yet. I've been very limited on time, but there's definitely some recordings coming. I've got an Alice Cooper cover in progress. I've been tapping it out as I've been going along. A cover of Hey Hooray, which is from the $1 Billion Babies album. I just love that song at the moment. And what was weird is I had a dream about Alice Cooper at one point. I won't go into the details of the dream, but next day coming into work, the first song that played was Alice Cooper, Hey Hooray. I thought, fuck it, I need to cover this song. It's cemented it, I need to do it. So I'm working on a cover for Hey Hooray of Alice Cooper, and I've got quite a few originals in the works. As you've probably seen, if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, there's been quite a few Guitar Noodle videos. I'm going to put this down because I can't talk and not twiddle. So nothing yet from me, but it's definitely coming. It's definitely in the works. It's definitely my main passion at the moment. Let's stop talking about music, shall we? So film and TV, absolutely fuck all at the moment. Obviously I've watched stuff since I did the last video in this series, but recently all I've been watching is just shit cartoons on Netflix. So I started watching BoJack Horseman. I put that off for a really long time as it's quite heavily raved about. But it's actually pretty good. There's 3 seasons. I think I'm on episode 11 of season 1. It was lasting quite some time actually. I'm watching 1 or 2 a day here and there. It's quite dark. It's about the world is half people, half animals, and it's one of those worlds where they sort of coexist. And it's called BoJack Horseman, so the main character is obviously a horse. You're not quite too sure if there is a race war going on or anything like that, but they seem to be aware that they're all animals and people, but they just do day-to-day things together. I can't get my head around that yet. To be honest, it's such a bizarre concept. I don't really like it when shows do it. Well, I love it actually, but I don't like the fact that the backstory to it isn't explained. Has it always been like that? Was there some sort of sick science experiment that went wrong? But the main character, BoJack Horseman, is a ex-TV star from a Friends-like TV show called Horsing Around. Say Friends-like, it's probably more of a Nickelodeon-like, kids-friendly, family-friendly, daytime TV show, who's just living on past success. He's on drugs all the time, and he's just a jackass, and it's just about his struggles in day-to-day life. It can be really dark at times. It's not just full humour. They actually go quite in depth to some of his struggles as a ex-star. It's quite a good show. It really took me by surprise. And the other cartoon I've been watching is F is for Family, which is significantly learn to talk, Lloyd, you fucking bellend. Which is significantly shorter than BoJack Horseman, but just as good. So it comes from the mind of Bill Burr, who is an American stand-up comedian. I've not watched his stand-up, but after watching F is for Family, I definitely will give it a go. I believe it entails some stories from his real life, as there's a small ginger kid in the TV series called Bill, who's ginger, and Bill Burr is ginger. So it's just about a family life in the 70s growing up. I like it particularly because little Bill's got to be like 10 or maybe 9, younger than that perhaps. He's got a brother, I can't remember his name, it's been a while since I watched it now, like a week or so, you can't expect me to remember everything. He's got an older brother who's about 14 who really likes prog. And that's something that's not explored in cartoon form or even sort of live action comedy that often. If it's 70s focused, it's usually just 70s rock, right? But he really loves his prog, and it's like Jethro Tull style music, so lots of fantasy shit. It's really cool, it's really entertaining, and that show is incredibly dark. It explores some dark concepts as well. If you want something to blast through in the night, definitely give F is for Family a go. It will take you by surprise. I was expecting absolute shit, but it's quite entertaining. Something I want to watch, I think there's only 4 episodes of it, is the Castlevania anime they've put on Netflix. Really look forward to watching that. And I'm dreading it in one way, because anime as a whole is usually pretty shite, let's be honest. They explore some interesting concepts, but the execution of it is usually pretty dire. You can't go that wrong with Castlevania, can you? As a huge Castlevania fan, I have to watch it. Hopefully it's good. I've heard good things so far. I think it's got a current rating of 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's pretty good. Looking forward to it, as much as I am reserved to it at the same time. One thing I want to talk about before I go is I've noticed an attitude change to online in general and YouTube. Now this may just be me, and I may be setting a trap for myself by saying this, but the trolling community seems to have disappeared. Again, like I say, maybe setting a trap for myself, but everyone online seems to be rather pleasant at the moment. It's really strange, but it's really nice. Keep it up. A lot of my older videos are getting some really positive feedback, and it's great. Usually I get, oh, what a long-haired cunt, look at that shit in your face, oh, you're slagging off something I like. But you know what, everything's been really positive lately, and people seem to be going out of their way to leave a nice comment as well. And it's not just my stuff, I have seen it in forums I'm active in as well. Keep it up, internet. Keep it up. Anyway, I have talked long enough, dribbled on myself. I'm a little bit wet, it's not all sweat, most of it is dribble. I'm going to head off. Cheers guys, enjoy.
Like and comment and subscribe. All that bollocks. You need a footstool for every room you see.